Welcome into the DNVR Rockies Podcast. I am your host, Patrick Lyons, and joining me today on the show, a special pinch hitter off the bench. He was just sitting in the stands, in fact. He was at the Papa Shot on the concourse. It's Adam Mares from DNVR Nuggets.
Two-sport athlete over here, hopping over to baseball, going to flex my baseball skills. Excited.
I've mentioned this before. Who is a basketball player that also played in the MLB, an NBA and MLB player?
Michael Jordan.
There's only one that I know of. Minor leaguer.
He never got called up even for a little game.
No.
Like one.
And there were a ton of Michael Jordan White Sox jerseys at the ballpark this weekend.
That's awesome.
The only one, and this is what I call Brendan Vogt, Danny Ainge.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, man, that makes sense. Yeah.
With the Toronto Blue Jays.
He was awesome. Yeah. At
all
sports.
Is that crazy or what?
You know what? I should have known it, though. It is crazy, but I should have been able to guess that one. Allegedly, because it was football, too, right? He was like every athlete, All-American and everything.
Danny Ainge was?
Danny Ainge, yeah, of all things. Go figure.
I did not know that.
Yeah, a little history.
We got Tom Glavine was drafted in baseball and hockey.
Okay.
Drafted by the LA Kings.
Okay.
So, there's a couple multi-sport athletes out there.
What do you think baseball most lends itself to athletically? What other sport? Like, if you're a good baseball player, you're probably also good at...
Ooh, I don't know that there's a one-to-one correlation on that. I mean, football. I think football and baseball are just the two traditional American pastimes.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That you have the most crossover on.
Yeah, I don't think there is anything else, though. You're right.
Yeah. No, there's cricket.
I was going to say maybe cricket.
In the future, there's a cricket league going. It's getting started here in America. Raise a glass. Not for the Rockies.
No.
I mean, we're not necessarily toasting the Tampa Bay Rays for their 3-game sweep. We're probably pouring out a glass, pouring out a pint, or just raising the glass to the end of a 3-game sweep at the hands of the Tampa Bay Rays. We knew that was going to be difficult. Now, I know you were really excited about Ezequiel Tovar.
I was.
Which is great because he was not in the starting lineup today, of all days. For the first time since late June, Ezequiel Tovar was not starting at shortstop.
What happened?
The day you show up.
Yeah, what happened?
You
Yeah, it was me?
You jinxed him.
Oh, man.
He did not. He got a day off.
Is that what it is?
Nice.
Just a rest day?
Yeah, like he legitimately had 40-some plus consecutive days without a day off. Since his son was born, he's played every game.
Wow.
In fact, that was the only reason why he even missed 2 games in Cincinnati.
Was for the birth.
Was for the birth.
So this is a dumb question. I'm going to have nothing but dumb questions for you.
No, these are good.
40? How many games was it in a row?
40-something,
40-something. Is that what's average for a player before they take a rest?
I would say that's on the high side.
That's on the high side.
That's a good question.
So maybe every 25 games or so, you rest roughly a guy?
Yeah, you might start maybe 10 games in a row, and then you get a day. That's if you're like a grinder. Because if you're doing 10 days and then an off day, that's still close to 150 games, which is somewhat of a rarity, All
right.
Guys used to go a lot harder. Vinny Castilla is one of those players where, he'd talk about they didn't really think about altitude, so he just played every single day. Where now it's like, no. Take a day on Sunday or take a day game after a night game. Preserve yourself. Let's let the bench kind of get some action in there.
My hottest sports take really that I actually believe, this is like almost like a medical take as well, that I actually believe.
Okay.
I think that pro sports have overdone load management all around. I can't speak to baseball. I just asked how many games.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. There is obviously truth to players wear their bodies down by playing too much, right? So you need to build in rest days. But I think there's also a simultaneous, there's some sort of mental toughness is under, I'm making this too simplified, but something to when guys just assume they're playing all the time, like they are almost less injury prone because in their mind it's just to be expected. So there is and we know this from the NBA at least, and NBA is a different sport than baseball, but the guys are missing games more than ever for load management, yet getting hurt more than ever. There's this parallel thing that doesn't quite add up.
There's definitely something to that. And that's something with starting pitchers where they're throwing harder now because they're not staying in the game longer. In the past, they would think about, all right, 3rd, 4th time through the order against this guy, I got to approach this at bat a little bit differently the first, second time that I face him. So you know what? I'm going to save that one. I'm going to really fire back and give it all my best on pitch number 135. So pitches 20 through 30 through 40. I gotta go at maybe 75%, 80. Now they're saying go all out there because we have a whole bullpen full of guys. So the bullpen has gotten better. So now there's more pressure on these starting pitchers.
Gotcha.
They're getting injured more, and that's exactly right. It's adding to an increase in injuries.
I don't think we can solve injuries. This is my overarching point. Is I think that we make preventative, like logical and preventative decisions, like about this, but it makes no impact. We just create new injuries for players or new types of injuries. So that's I don't know if there's a way to prove this, but this is just me looking at everything happening.
There's definitely something to that. I think we got Suzie here. Probably one of the better pieces of news to come out of this 3-game set in Tampa. Nobody got hurt, right?
Yeah, let's go. She can't hear?
No one got hurt, which is good.
Susie's muted herself.
You mute yourself, Suzie. You said you mute yourself.
Ooh, are you doing a Dolph Lundgren on that impersonation?
No, that's Jokic. Jokic, that was what he said to a reporter. You mute yourself.
Oh, is that his nice way of saying be quiet?
No, he's saying you muted yourself, but he says you mute yourself.
Oh, it actually happened on Zoom or something like this.
What about now, Suze? Just start singing as loud as you can, and as soon as we figure it out, then we'll have it. We can guess what song she's singing.
I think she was singing the Backus and Shanker theme song that we've got.
Song.
That's the one.
That was not it.
That we're hearing. I would think so. So maybe.
All right, he's going to try to reset. We'll bring you in here in a little bit.
No injuries, which is good. Hopefully we don't have a broken phone or a broken connection. So maybe there was something that ended up coming out of today's unfortunate 5-3 loss. Wednesday was a 6-5 loss in 10 innings. Both of those games, the bullpen implodes. Technically not a blown save today, but they gave up 8 runs, or rather they gave up 2 runs in the 8th inning. They gave up 9 runs in the 8th inning on Tuesday, 7 runs in the 8th inning on Sunday. The bullpen's kind of been their undoing. They had a lead in their last 9 games dating back to last Monday. Unfortunately, have only 3 wins. It's one of the reasons why they are on 100 loss watch.
Let's go, baby. I mean, wait, what?
Well, that's the thing where it's so interesting is like, do you want it to happen? Some fans kind of do.
Yes.
Others, maybe not.
No, you want it to happen. Like this is like when the dog vomits in the kitchen and you have to rub the nose in it so that they know this is unacceptable. This is like the Montforts can't get the 98 loss season. Like, yeah, 98 losses, guys. Like that was, ball breaks this way. No, they need 100. They need the 100. Everybody can hold up the sign. Everybody can cheer when it hits.
But to use your analogy, what if that is a gigantic bull mastiff dog and you can't rub that dog's nose in it? I don't know.
All dogs have shame.
All right, Suzie, no injuries, maybe a broken phone, maybe a bad reception, but is that the silver lining? No one got hurt this weekend or this week against the Rays?
The silver lining is my phone? I'd make it. I don't know what you're asking me. Listen, I guess the only silver lining is these guys were kind of in it 3 games in a row against the 4th best team in baseball. The Rays are really good. They've got a really good lineup. So the fact that they had moments of being so close in these games, I think that's a silver lining. We also saw some great stuff out of Brenton Doyle, some great catches. We saw some home runs from Nolan Jones. These are the things that we're looking out for really for the rest of the season is what these young guys are able to accomplish. And we're watching them learn how to be major leaguers right before our eyes.
I think that's a great point, Suzie, is that wins and losses aren't exactly as important right now at this point in the year for these young guys. I would even go so far as to say the box score might not even be as important too, because you can look and say, hey, some things broke the wrong way. This didn't happen. Or guy hits the ball hard 4 times. Doesn't get a hit, and you go, 0 for 4, he had a bad game. Not exactly true. You mentioned Nolan Jones there. When he came up just a triple shy of a cycle, were you thinking, was everybody in the press box kind of hoping maybe this thing would go down and he'd hit for the cycle for the first time since Charlie Blackmon at the end of 2018?
No one was holding their breath for it. Because you know what? It's a tough team to beat in general. I think we all just wanted to win. Literally none of us were like, oh, wow, just a triple shy. No.
I'm with you, Patrick. If I would have seen this, I'd have been like, that's the things you look for. You're like, you know what? Something. The win or loss at Tampa Bay, you'd forget that. For me personally, you'd forget it in like a week or 2. But if you get the cycle, it's like, hey, something good happened.
Oh, I just
For
think
sure.
that we didn't think it was like a plausible thing that was going to happen.
Yeah.
It's literally the hardest part of a cycle.
That's right. Yeah, that
This
is
is
true.
true.
Yeah,
Yes.
only a triple away from the cycle. Yeah, that's tough.
If Nolan was hitting against his own bullpen, then maybe it happens. Against the Rays bullpen, they're pretty good. It's a full bullpen day altogether. Peter Lambert might not have been the start of the year, but again, another really solid outing. 5 innings pitched, only gives up 2 runs. They come a little bit early, but he keeps them in the game. And as you mentioned, Nolan Jones with that 3-run home run, Rockies had a lead in that game, and that was because Peter Lambert was able to hold it down just a little bit there.
Exactly. Yeah. Peter Lambert was so good again. Of course, not as good as his previous start, but what could be. It was the best start of the season. No, but Peter Lambert put in some great work, and it's so frustrating too, because you hate to see good starts go to waste when, the bullpen does what the bullpen has been doing lately. And it sucks, Patrick, Adam. It sucks. This is brutal because we've lost so many good pieces to our bullpen, and the pieces we do have left are exhausted. So, this was a tough series. This was really tough vibes-wise, too, for this team.
Oh, man, low vibes, too?
Low vibage. Low vibage in Tampa. How's Justin Lawrence doing? Blows the save on Wednesday night. 3rd blowed save in as many opportunities in his last 5 games. I think he's given up 8 earned runs, 10 runs total, but 8 earned runs in those 5 outings. Not recording as many strikeouts as he typically does.
Yeah. The sweeper got swept this weekend. That is for sure. Yeah, you can see that he's so frustrated. You can see that he knows he can do better. You know that he's been grinding all season. I have a great conversation with Justin Lawrence that will be airing in my Suze show tomorrow. So do check that out. But yeah, it's tough to see because he can do so much better.
Mm-hmm.
But we're kind of in a rut right now in terms of that.
Elias Diaz kind of got himself off the schneid a little bit. Seemed like since the All-Star break, since winning the MVP award there in Seattle, he hadn't been playing as well. He's been a lot better, close to 500 with 9 RBI in the last 4 games. He hits the big 3-run home run there, to help lift the Rockies just a little bit on Wednesday. Again, that's not enough, but it was good to see Diaz kind of finding his stroke just a little bit, especially on the road when, runs can be hard to come by for the Rockies offense.
Definitely. Yeah, he's mashing. I mean, we haven't seen him mash like this in a while, so it was really fun to see. Nice to see him go on the road playing a good team like this and showing off exactly why he was the All-Star MVP. It was must-see baseball.
And it was the first home run that Aaron Civil had given up since July 14th, like in over a month.
And that's
with the guy, right?
huge. That's a huge deal. That makes it even better.
That was fantastic. Were you surprised? I know Adam's a big Ezekiel Tovar fan.
Oh, huge.
So naturally, he shows up on a day he's not in the lineup. What was your thoughts going into the ballpark this morning going, wait, Alan Trejo's playing shortstop? I mean, he's great and all, but it's been Tovar every single day, hitting number 1 or number 2 in the lineup for the past month and a half.
Listen, we talked to Buddy about this before the game, too. He needed a day off. It's been so many
days off, Pat. Come on, man.
He's been working overtime this summer. He needed a day off. Please, he's a new dad too. He's probably exhausted. Good thing he's 22 years old and has all the energy in the world.
This is yeah. He's an old man at 22. He's a father. Maybe he'll get a chance to actually play in a game with his son. Something that's only happened 2 other times in MLB history. I don't think it's ever happened in the NBA.
Who's the other one? We know Kim Griffey.
We know the Griffeys. Often forgotten about Tim Raines Sr. and Tim Raines Jr.
Oh, often
Baltimore
forgot
Orioles.
about. Yeah, I totally forgot that one.
Forgotten.
I mean,
Yes.
I knew it. I just had forgotten it. Yeah.
Naturally is the case. All right. Well, Suzie, have fun down there in Tampa. Good show. It sounds like you got lined up. I know.
Do you get to go to the beach? Can we just ask? We'll talk personal questions now. Do you get to go to the beach now that you're, the rest of the time?
I could go to the beach if I wanted to. My mom has a pool in the backyard, so
Pool's better than beach. Yeah.
Might just going to the beach. It's like a whole day. You got to pack stuff up.
The sand and there's other people.
Really messy. Unless I'm really gonna make a day of it, I'm probably not gonna go to the beach. I'm gonna hang out by the pool, and that is more than good enough for me.
Will this be the first ever pool pod? Is it going to be a pool pod tomorrow?
Pool pod?
I'm thinking about, like, logistically, can I do the podcast literally from inside the pool? I might.
Honestly, it would be
Patrick,
epic.
I might.
On a
I think it would be
floatable?
epic.
Just floating on a chair? Yeah, I'm down for that.
I really think I might. I hope y'all are okay with it, because I
Approved.
might just approve. Okay, I'm glad we have this on the record.
There you go.
Suzie, thank you so much. Be safe getting back to Colorado. We'll see you in studio post-game on Sunday. And tomorrow's show, it's going to be a banger, previewing that Baltimore Orioles series. Tons of interviews, I'm sure. So
Hey,
looking forward to seeing it.
Broncos tailgate, so I'll see y'all then.
Sounds good. Down on
Bye,
that.
guys.
Oh,
Later.
Suzie. Breckenridge Distillery, world's highest distillery in all of Colorado.
So high.
So high. They've won so many awards. I'm not even going to run through them, but like they win every year for
It'd
everything.
take the whole show if you ran through the awards.
Their location itself, just as far as a restaurant goes, is
Right.
fantastic. Official bourbon of the Denver Broncos, widely known for its blended bourbon whiskey, a high rye mash, American style whiskey. Again, so many awards. They're available in all 50 states as well. You can go to BreckenridgeDistillery.com, and you also can get it delivered at home. You can't beat that award-winning bourbon delivered right on your doorstep.
Are you a whiskey guy? Are you a vodka guy? Gin? Do you
I'm
have
not.
one?
I'm not.
None.
Any of
Neither.
those.
Neither of them. Really?
Neither. None.
Tequila. Nothing.
I'm a teetotaler, man.
Is that right?
Yes.
All right.
No alcohol in or out.
It really. In or
Out?
Well,
I don't know.
I guess I didn't need that part.
TMI.
You know,
I mean,
I think
technically-
I am alcohol both in and out, Kale. I'm not sure. I'd have to check the record. I think that's how it works.
I
But
mean, I
I'm
drink
not sure.
kombucha, so I guess technically.
Yeah,
there could be some out.
technically, yeah.
And if you go to hibachi, sometimes you go, "Is that water?" And then it ends up being sake. That has happened many a time.
Okay,
So I
yeah.
mean, look,
really ruined it for you.
I'm not perfect
Yeah.
exactly, but I'll tell you who is perfect. Breckenridge Distillery.
There you go.
Bringing it back around. All right, DraftKings Sportsbook. You waited all year. It's finally arrived. College football. It's back. Traditions, tailgates, so many great offers right now for DraftKings Sportsbook. Right now, new customers can score $200 in bonus bets instantly when they bet just $5 on any college football bet. First weekend of action starts at 12:30 on Saturday. Notre Dame. I don't know that if college football does that. In baseball, it used to be the Reds would play the first game on opening day, or even like a day before the proper opening day, because Cincinnati had the first ever professional baseball team.
Okay.
So that's kind of tradition. I feel like Notre Dame's a good place to start the season.
Is it?
They're opening up. I mean, when you think of college football, I mean, sure, you probably also think of Alabama and whatnot, but Notre Dame, that's old school, man. That's historic. They open up at 12:30 Mountain Time, minus 1,600 over Navy. One of the biggest favorites of the day. The biggest favorite, in fact, is actually USC. They're taking on San Jose State. They're at minus 9,000. That's also the highest over-under number of the day. 66 on the nose. Over is minus 112. Under is 108. Lots of scoring there. Most even matchup, UTEP versus Jacksonville State. Not to be confused with Dion's old school, Jackson State.
Yeah,
which
different.
I didn't make that mistake at
Did you
all.
not? Okay,
I
good.
did not waste 15 minutes of research on
Yeah.
that matchup.
You know your
I didn't.
HBCUs for sure.
Exactly.
I know you do.
And then the best underdog, and maybe in a way heartwarming story if you're looking for a game. At Vanderbilt, Hawaii goes to Vanderbilt. Hawaii plus 675. Vanderbilt minus 1050.
They
So
better not beat them.
if you're looking for Hawaii, like, hey,
Yeah, we need
Hawaii,
Hawaii here.
they could use a win. So you're
Yeah.
like, hey, you know what? That's good for everybody in that one. Kick off the season with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the app now. Use code DNVR. New customers can score $200 in bonus bets instantly when they bet just $5 on any college football bet. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code DNVR. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In West Virginia, visit www.1800gambler.net in partnership with Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races. All games regulated by the West Virginia Lottery. Please play responsibly. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-777 or visit ccpg.org on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 or older. In most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Terms and sportsbook at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms. FIBA's going on, isn't it?
FIBA is going on. You want to bet?
Are you FIBAing?
Oh, are you?
Do you
Well,
have
here's the
something?
problem, man. The games are like 2 a.m. to 7 a.m. So it's like it's the worst possible time
Okay.
for viewing. But yeah, I'm into it.
You're into it?
Yeah.
All right. Do you have a bet? Because that also could be a fun thing. You place a bet and you wake up the next morning and
Patrick,
you're dreaming of it.
Patrick, I have a can't miss bet.
Ooh.
I have a can't miss bet.
A CMB?
I'm telling you, but
Love CMBs.
Luka Doncic as the top scorer of the tournament. Now, Slovenia, Luka scores a lot. He's really good. He's a really good player. He looks like he's in the best shape of his life, and he doesn't have any other good teammates. So he's going to be shooting a lot.
Yeah.
And to be the top scorer, he's at plus 350. I think it's a lock.
Oh, that's a gimme.
Plus 350. It's not even minus odds. It's plus 350.
Just for that one game?
No. For
the
the tournament. For the tournament.
Still.
I think it's a lock.
And they're going deep.
Lock it
too.
up.
CMB.
Well, that part, maybe not so much. But it doesn't matter. He's going to score so much.
It's a can't miss bet. Yes. Austin Gomber quality start on Wednesday night. He's been great. Last 10 starts dating back to June 10th. 3.49 ERA. The rotation in general has actually been the 14th best in all of MLB. Dating back to August 11th, that was game 2 in Los Angeles. That, at least according to Fangraphs, wins above replacement. But let's have a little fun here and jump into some weird, wild, and wonderful. You're going to give me your takes on these things. Now, the wild thing from Tuesday night, Robert Stephenson got the final 3 outs. Former Colorado Rockies reliever last year. Rockies designated him for assignment. Got picked up by the Pirates. Was pretty good with the Pirates. They flipped him. Got a nice prospect to Tampa Bay. So now Pittsburgh's got something to show for Robert Stephenson.
Okay.
Rockies don't. And he's been fantastic with the Rays. And he gets the final 3 outs to lock down that win on Tuesday night against its old team. Is there anything worse than a player with an axe to grind against your team? And he's going out there and wants to just shove it down your team's throat.
That is among the worst things. We had this back in 2018. Yusef Nurkic, player with the Nuggets, got... basically Nuggets chose Jokic over Nurkic. He's very disgruntled. He goes to Portland, and he basically eliminates the Nuggets from playoffs by beating them in the last week of the season. Absolutely brutal. Talk trash in his post-game interview, have a nice summer, all this different stuff. It hurt quite a bit. It was one of my least favorite moments. I would say one of my least favorite games. Probably a bottom 5 game of the last 10 years of Nuggets.
That was like bottom vibes for sure.
We had to sit on it for a whole summer. But you know what? We did get revenge 10 times over. It just, we had to be extremely patient about it. Maybe the same thing will happen for the Rockies.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Can you make my voice deeper in post-production here, Cal, on that one? Yes. There is a tank at Tropicana Field with cow nose stingrays, and you can touch them. But the weird thing is, first off,
do you like a stingray just as an animal?
No,
I think they're they're like their own category of animal, and they're kind of creepy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So I wouldn't even want to.
Are they
one.
dolphin? Are they porpoises? Are they porpoise?
They're not that. Yeah, I know you know this. You're playing them on this one.
Do any NBA arenas have any weird kind of thing? In Miami, they would have they had a big fish tank behind home plate.
Atlanta has a courtside bar. Because Atlanta has a hard time getting anybody to go to the games. They have a barber shop. They have a Top Golf. Instead of one of the suites, you can play golf simulator while watching a game.
Okay.
But it's tight. It's top.
Still,
I think it's Top Golf.
That's great.
And then they have a courtside bar. So unfortunately, still nobody attends their games.
Damn.
So it did not work.
Damn. That's a good setup though.
Yeah, it is not a bad setup. No animals though, to my knowledge.
Yet. No hawks. Yeah, you couldn't really do that. Couldn't have an aviary. All right, so here were some of the FAQs for the Rays Touch Tank. Frequently asked questions. Can I bring my food or drink in? Okay, that seems reasonable. You should know.
Bring it into the
touch tank area.
You're right, and the answer is probably no, because they don't trust you to feed them. You could have food in the facility in theory, but
you should know better.
Yeah.
But you know what? Okay, reasonable. Okay. Is it okay to splash or tap to get the stingray's attention? Again, I think we know in 2023 to leave the animals alone.
Wait, do you not touch these?
You can.
Oh, okay, but don't.
But
touch
on the
glass.
outside, to make that noise because there's reverberations. And then, can you touch the stingrays? Yes, but then the next question is, why can't I touch their back? So you can touch them, but only in a certain area.
Interesting.
Yeah, so there's instructions. You have to touch the wing area of the stingray, but not its spine. Which is strange. And then the worst one is, can I stand my child up to the side of the habitat? Who is asking that? Can I just put my child right there on the edge?
Yeah.
not good.
That's frequently asked. Lots of people are asking it.
I don't know if they're frequently asked questions anywhere other than Florida.
Yeah,
I'll
that's
say
true.
that.
That's actually true.
I think that's right.
We should have come up with our own other frequently asked questions.
Yeah. And then the most obvious one.
Can I scream racial obscenities? This is another Florida frequently asked question.
That was the next one in there.
Quite
you've read this. Have you read
Can
this?
I take away the Stingrays' voting rights? That was also in the frequently.
That was the second to last one.
Yeah.
And let's see if you can get the third and final one.
Can I bring my gun to the? And that one was yes. You actually can bring your gun in
if you're registered.
If you're registered, you can bring your gun.
No, the dumbest question is: do stingrays have live birth or lay eggs? And it's like if you don't know that they're ovoviviparous, it's like what are you doing?
What are you doing, man?
Come on,
freaking Florida doesn't know that.
Ovoviviparous. Obviously.
Right.
All right. Wonderful news for the Rockies and prospects. 3 more hits last night for Hunter Goodman.
Okay.
No relation to Drew Goodman.
Okay.
He's trying to claim him as his nephew, but no.
Not true.
Hunter Goodman tearing it up in AAA, had a double RBI, took 2 walks. He's got 7 home runs, 27 RBI in 13 games. You don't have to know a ton about baseball to know that that is absurd.
Okay. Oh, my God.
That's great. Bud Black did say,
okay.
You want to see my Hartford Yard Goats cap?
Yard Goats.
That's it. Bud Black said at the stadium last week, like, I imagine when you talk to Michael Malone, there's sometimes you ask questions and he just kind of, he gives you something, but he puts it to the side. And then if he gives you a really good, strong answer, you're on to something. We're on to something here with Hunter Goodman.
Okay.
Bud Black gave a good, long, thorough answer about a prospect, which doesn't always happen. And basically just says...
It's sad when you ask the question about a prospect, he's got like 3 words.
Well, those guys are on the team.
He's doing good. He's doing good.
Hey, they're not in the clubhouse, so
Right.
Bud's not necessarily concerned about him, so I do get it.
Okay.
But Buddy did say, I think the thing that stands out is just the natural power, the raw power he had. He's made some noise.
All right.
So Hunter Goodman, be ready. No hitter last night in High A Spokane. 2 pitchers, Anderson Pilar and Brian Castillo combined for the no-no. 13 strikeouts for Pilar in 7 innings. The weird is no one's going to games in Tampa either, and they have a first-place team for the Rays at Tropicana Field. Is Tampa a bad sports town?
No, you can't bring your gun. I mean, like, it's just, I think it all comes back to it. The answer is probably, man. Like, here's the thing. It's the same with Colorado to some degree, that there's a lot of things that are fun to do outdoors.
Yeah.
And Tampa Bay is like, it's a beach. It's summer. Baseball's in the summer. Like, I don't know, man. If I were to pick I've been to Tampa. It was actually way better than I expected. Well, I'm not trying to show off here.
Flexing over here, this guy.
Way better. I thought Tampa was going to be like kind of dumpy or something. I don't know why.
I like Tampa.
Okay.
I liked it too. And I was kind of like, this is actually a pretty cool place.
That makes sense to have that take. If you're like, ooh, it's going to be
I thought it was going to be terrible. I thought it was going to be real sketchy.
Well, think about Las Vegas. How many people go, whoa, Las Vegas? And you're like, it's way sketchier than you think.
Yeah.
Tampa's the reverse. You probably think it's sketchier than it actually is.
I hear there's tons of lightning there, like more lightning than anywhere else in the entire country, I'm told.
The entire roster is actually in Tampa of lightning.
Can I actually tell you why I don't like Tampa, though? Tampa sports?
Let's get to the next.
No. I have to tell you this one. So currently the Denver sports teams have 2 championships in the 2020s. Okay. They have a good chance of being the team or the city of the decade. Colorado. We got the Nuggets. Are they going to win another one this decade? They have good chance. Avs, good chance.
Yeah.
Tampa has 3. They have Tampa Bay Lightning Stanley Cups in 2020 and 2021. And they have a Tampa Bay Buccaneers title in 2021. They have 3 championships in the 4 major sports so far. Wow. So they are currently leading Denver as the team of the city of the decade for championships.
Didn't the Rays go to the World Series this decade too?
2020.
Yeah.
They lost to the Dodgers.
So they kind of comfortably ahead of Denver.
And their team right now, you go, you could see them making another run. So that's a great point,
So
Kale.
I look at that. If the Rays come in and get one for them, like we're not expecting that. The Lightning, they might still have a little bit of a run here. Buccaneers probably not. But if the Rays sneak in here, man, we're talking about almost impossible.
That
for
could
Denver.
lock up at least a tie for first. Because if you have 4, you have to have 5 to beat that.
Yeah.
That's a good question. As you go back and look at all the decades, what's the most a city has won in a decade? I would think 5.
No,
could be that magic number.
Chicago.
And
1-6 by the Bulls alone.
Yeah, and then Boston in the
Boston in the 2020s and 2010s sadly won everything. So they have like 6, 7 every single one. So
okay, that's fair.
There are some, and then LA in the 80s I think had a big run with Dodgers and Lakers.
Yeah.
So there are teams that and the Raiders won as well, LA Raiders. So sadly, the top end of that is probably unattainable. But who cares about old stuff, man? We're talking about the 2020s.
We are. You know what? We have to talk about that. I've got an idea.
Okay.
I just came up with it. We'll talk about it after. We'll get like the whole company together, and I've got an idea about the best of the best. But speaking of best of the best, Shady Rays is the best when it comes to sunglasses. I'll show you mine.
Okay.
If you show me your Shady Rays.
Go for it.
All right. So these are mine.
All right.
They protect my eyeballs, my baby blues.
That's
I
incredible.
need these when I'm at the ballpark.
Wow. And they make
I
it
need
in men's
these.
as well. They have that same one they do. I'm just kidding. I'm not. Look at mine.
These are ambidextrous. They men's and women's.
Is that right? Yeah.
They are.
Look at this. Mine come in a little box. So you open it up. They have
jewel
their own
case.
little case, and then you go straight aviators, baby.
Oh, look at
Like
that.
to fly a plane.
All right, so yours looks better on you than mine look on me. But here's the thing. You paid for yours. You bought one. And you know what? I got one.
You got yours?
That's the deal with Shady Rays. Use code DNVR. You buy a pair, this guy, and then I get one for free. Or you get one for free. That's the deal.
That would be an incredible promo. Buy one, Patrick gets one for free. It's a great deal.
It's BOPO. It's called BOPO. Well, there are certain companies where they'll give away things if you buy one. No, you actually end up getting both. It's great. You can get 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized shades if you go down to the Park Meadows Mall. Look, if you lose or break your glasses, they will replace them for you. If you don't like it, you're gonna. But if you don't, full refund within 30 days, or you can just return those, exchange them. It's fantastic. Much like game time tickets. Look, you can get seats down on the floor, behind home plate, 50-yard line, you name it. And the best part is, besides the fact that code DNVR is going to get you $20 off your first purchase, but you can wait closer to the start of the event. I've been telling people, especially if you're traveling and you're in a new city, you're like, I don't even know if I want to go to the event. I'll go around the arena, hang out, have dinner, have some drinks.
Good call.
And then scout the prices. And you're going to notice immediately they go down in that 3 to 2 hours before the start of an event. Even up to about an hour, you get about 60% off the face value.
What's the late? Because I mean, Patrick, I don't mean this offensively, but you like a plan.
Yes.
You don't like things sprung on you at the last minute, but the deals are so good last minute. What's the latest
true.
you'll wait to buy a ticket to something you want to go to?
I did submit a date for a concert I'm going to in 2026 through HR. So you're gonna see that later today.
All right, yeah.
No, the first time I literally used game time tickets a decade ago when I first moved to Colorado, about a half an hour before a show that Kale was at, apparently.
Really?
He was like in high school though. But yeah, it was fun. And
Okay.
Tegan and Sarah at Red Rocks.
Okay.
I was
$15.
I wasn't.
$15.
That was my first concert.
I
Ever?
actually, I didn't know that part.
Yeah, it was my first concert.
I actually only wanted to go for the opening act. I was just a Tegan and Sarah fan, believe it or not.
Fun. Were you there the night it rained or the night it didn't rain?
I think it rained only a little bit. And that was why the prices were going down.
Okay,
Because
nobody
people were
wanted
we
the
don't want
rain,
to go,
yeah.
or we're not going to scalp them there. And
There you
Game
go.
Time knows that. They sees the prices going down, and you get a really good deal. So it rained a little bit, but not a ton.
Yeah, the night so they were here for 2 nights. The night I went, the whole concert was in pouring rain, and
Wow.
everybody was like stoked about it because they just played through it, and everybody was cold and miserable. It was cool.
Isn't the music video for that fun song? Isn't it raining?
Yeah. It was perfect.
Ooh, that's cool. Tonight, that's it. I think that's just a commercial for Taco Bell. actually.
Maybe that's what it is. Actually,
All right.
I'm thinking. Liv
Another
Moss.
piece of wonderful news. Curtis Mead of the Tampa Bay Rays, the Thunder from Down Under. I don't know if that's his nickname. Certainly should be.
Should be. Yeah.
Yes, he's a good hitter. Now, Mead is actually the only active Australian-born player in MLB right now.
Okay.
In fact, in the last decade, there's only been 3 position players
Yeah.
who've come out of Australia. A lot more pitchers. Liam Hendricks is a big notable name. The Rockies have had just 1 Australian player ever. He was around for like 2 months, and thanks to Kyle Cooper, the photographer for the Rockies, we actually have a photograph of it. Great Instagram, not Instagram, but Twitter interaction at DNVR_Rockies. He's like, hey, here's a picture of him. Now the photo exists. You can't go on Google and find an image of Mark Hutton, the Australian, pitching for the Rockies, but you can find it on our Twitter account, which is pretty cool. He was a guy that they ended up getting for Craig Counsell, manager of the Brewers. Probably want to have that one back. But do you think MLB is more of an international sport than the NBA?
It's a really good question. It depends on how you would rank this, right?
Sure.
Because baseball as a sport is extremely regional. It's the Americas, and it's like Eastern Asia.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's not like
Yeah.
super huge in Europe. It's not super huge necessarily in like Central Asia, but it is in those places. Basketball, I would say, reaches more like diverse places. It's becoming bigger in Africa. It's very big in Europe now. Asia's basketball obsessed, even though there's not a lot of players coming from Asia.
Yeah.
There are Philippines, China, these places got big. South America, it's become very popular. Argentine team, the Brazil team. So in Australia, it's huge. So it reaches every continent, and it has spread. But if you just look at Major League Baseball, significantly more international than the NBA is.
Oh, so you're throwing a curveball at the end. You're actually saying...
I'm saying it depends on how you... If you do it by players, percentage of players that are not from the U.S., Major League Baseball would win. If you did it by diversity of countries, right? Because the Dominican is like one small country. Lots of baseball players that come from it, right? Whereas you could go through all of Europe, all the countries play, but only a handful.
One guy from that country, one guy from that one.
Yeah.
All right. So do you know the number of U.S.-born players in the NBA?
Did you look it up?
No, I didn't. I didn't look that part up because I was only thinking about just countries that are represented.
I'll look it up here, but I'll bet you it's lower than what you think.
Baseball is like 71%.
How many different
USA.
countries? Okay.
First, if you're just talking percentage-wise. So opening day this year, there were 17 different countries represented for their birth country, which seems low. Last year, during the course of the season, there were 25 different countries that were represented. None from Serbia. There's never been a player from Serbia. So unfortunately, sorry to our friends over there doing that thing. Also, Yugoslavia. We know that's part of that country too.
Yeah.
So no Yugoslavian players either.
That's rough. I mean, again, it's just not baseball is such a unique sport. One, it requires lots of people. Did you do this as a kid?
Just on equipment.
And equipment.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. As a kid, baseball was my favorite sport to play, and I did play full seasons 1-on-0. So you'd go in the backyard and you would just pitch into a tire, and you'd put a little zone, and then
Did you have a real tire?
I swear to God, real tire.
Had a tire.
I had a real tire. Dude, I was a phenomenal pitcher, and here's why. I had the bucket full of baseballs, and all I would do is throw it into the tire all day, and then go pick them up, then go back, and I would honestly probably throw 1,000 pitches a day.
Did you have a little net or a tarp behind your tire?
No, but it was like a 6-foot. It was like I put a hole in the wall, but in the fence, because I had a chain fence in front of a wood fence. But nonetheless, but you would go back there and you're throwing and stuff, and then it'd be like, oh, that was a ball, oh, that was a straw, oh, he hit it,
So you're still doing the fundamentals.
You're still doing the fundamentals, but you know what? Always trying to put together a game. It's I got 5 friends that want to play baseball. It's not even close to being close to a baseball game. You had to be organized. So I think that's why it doesn't take off.
That's true. Yeah, no, that makes sense. In the NBA on opening night last year, 40 countries.
I was just looking at 40 countries.
So it's more. Yeah. And also, too, what you didn't even mention, so Africa underrepresented on both sports, but I think you do have African players, come over in Kansas.
Honestly, not that underrepresented in the NBA. It's becoming increasingly so. And honestly, the thing with Africa is obviously infrastructure. I mean, there's a lot of different countries, but just as far as there's no countries that have great infrastructure. But what's happened is a lot of players have gone to whatever. So if it's a French speaking country in Africa, they'll go to France, or what have you. And so there actually are even more African players that claim France or England or Spain even. So so I think that number would actually even be higher.
Do we do any off-season watch-alongs to the air up there? Do we do that at all?
No, I don't think we've done that one yet.
Movie.
Do you?
Well, I haven't seen it long.
Me neither. I was going to say, I don't know if I've seen it in forever.
How many moments do you go, can't do that in a movie today? It's probably, but it's Kevin Bacon, so it's got to be good. Yes.
It's got to be good.
There's no players from Argentina. Argentina, as you said.
Where? In the NBA?
In MLB.
Oh, in MLB,
but in
okay.
NBA, obviously that's another real big
in South
one right
America
there.
in general, where do players come from in Major League Baseball?
Colombia, there's a decent amount. There's only one from Brazil right now. I mean, Jesus Luzardo, who went to the same high school as former Rockies player Colton Welker. He was born in Peru.
Okay.
I mean, North America, Justin Lawrence was actually born in Panama in the Canal Zone there, but
Central America and obviously the island, you're gonna get a ton.
Oh yeah.
But I just wondered South America. I wonder where it quit. Venezuela and Colombia is kind of
Venezuela,
where it
you
stops.
get a lot.
Venezuela, Colombia, and not really south of that.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
South of the Amazon, you kind of get baseball didn't make its way.
For sure. There was a guy, I don't know if you saw from the Padres, he went to Antarctica to throw baseball.
Really?
He pitched for the Padres, yeah. I think he got to 88, but that was the record.
That's the fastest pitch ever.
Thrown on Antarctica.
Really?
Joe Musgrove of the Padres.
Awesome.
Yeah. I think the Padres still come through. No, they're done. I did want to talk to him about that. That's kind of a cool thing. Something over the weekend that we didn't get a chance to touch on. Alex Cole, unfortunately, did pass away. He was an original Colorado Rocky in 1993, passed away at the age of 58, first Rocky to pass away since Kamara Barti in 2021. I was curious, is there any Nuggets deaths or just sports-related deaths in your life that you remember, it maybe like hitting you harder than you imagine, or just like, whoa, that kind of got me more than I would have thought?
Well, Kobe's death I was at the arena when this happened. Okay. And I remember I was on my phone at the exact second that it came across the news. And I remember looking at it being like, it was from TMZ. And it was like, hold on, TMZ doesn't get those things wrong. And I actually ran out onto the court because I knew it was one of those things where I was like, this is the biggest deal. And I ran out and I actually told almost all of the Nuggets because they were just playing and stuff and it was coming so quick. And I was like, hey, guys, this is a thing that just happened. And so I'll never forget that one. Whatever you think of Kobe, it's like a big iconic person, and a
shocking
big moment
too.
And
so
then
were you the one who Jamal found out from?
So I told Will Barton and Barton told Jamal.
That's crazy.
But I mean, actually. I was like right there. So it was crazy. And then Bison Daly, I don't remember when this happened, but that was like a tragic one. If people don't know, Brian Williams was a Nugget for a while. He was on that 94 team. He was actually outplayed Mutombo in the iconic Mutombo game where they beat. Brian Williams was a really, really good player who was like a unique guy. He retired early. He was on the 96 Bulls. He had a very interesting career. He retires early, kind of at the height of his prime, buys a boat called the Hakuna Matata, and is murdered on his boat when his plan was to sail the world and sail off forever. He was murdered by his own brother. I think actually I can't remember if he was never prosecuted or not, but boat departed with multiple people, returned with one.
Wow. I do remember his passing just vaguely. I thought he was still an active player. Pistons too? You have a little with the Pistons?
Brian Williams, are you saying? I don't remember where he was
like
in between.
Because right?
He played a handful, but he was one of those guys that was super talented. Wasn't all about basketball, so he bounced around. But he was a super talent and, quite frankly, more interesting, I guess, than just a regular player. He was like a poet and an explorer and all these different things. Yeah. But died tragically early. Yeah,
that's definitely a rough one. For Rockies fans or baseball fans, anytime a player passes away during the course of a season, they're still active. Obviously, that's shocking. That, of course, happened to Darryl Kyle when he was with the Cardinals. First Rocky to ever pass away. Mario Encarnacion, Joe Kennedy, Frank Castillo, Jose Capion, Darryl Hamilton, Mark Brownson, Marcos Carvajal, Walt McKeel, Angel Echeverria, Kamara Barti, and now Alex Cole. So 12 former Rockies since 1993. Unfortunately, have passed away. So
that's more than I would have guessed, to be honest.
Yeah, it is kind of a lot. It is definitely kind of a lot. But we'll pick things up just slightly happier. Well, it should have been happier if talking about Shohei Ohtani, but the news, of course, is not that happy. It's probably a good time to go ahead and grab yourself a Breck Brew, the Mountain Beach Sour. It's amazing, fresh pineapple, thirst-quenching sour. Vacation in a can, but if you're having it here at the bar, it's a party in a pint.
Okay, there you go. I like it. Party in a pint.
That's the way to go.
Okay.
That's the way to go. Yeah, flavors of tart lime and pineapple blend with sweet notes of guava to bring a taste of the tropics to the high country. Go to breckbrew.com, find out where you can get it near you. Maybe it's in all 50 states. I want to know if you can get it in certain places in Canada as well. Where can you go?
So the tropics, man, the Canadian tropics.
That's it.
Bring the tropics to Canada.
Prince Edward Island. There you go. That's the place to go. You go to Breck Brew, find out where you can get their stuff, punch in your area code, your zip code. Boom. It's going to let you know where you can get that stuff. So Shohei Ohtani, I had this down even before, before his injury, and we'll get to that. But is Shohei Ohtani, coming from a guy who covers a hip sport, right?
Totally.
Football's cool, but basketball has swagger. Sure. Basketball has a lot of swagger. Okay. Is Shohei Ohtani cool?
The coolest baseball player, honestly, I can't think of who. If I said he's the coolest baseball player since, I don't even know what the since is. Where would you have to go back to some
great point.
Cool is honestly not the right word for Shohei. Okay.
I know you're saying though.
I think it's interesting.
It factor,
but to me it's more interesting. Just a guy who's compelling. Who is a compelling story, a compelling guy to watch, a guy that seems to transcend the moment every single time. And that's the other thing about Shohei is, it doesn't matter if it's an all-star game or a home run derby or a big game, a big at-bat in the ninth or the Baseball World Classic, whatever it is, it just seems like he always is up for it. You know what I mean? There's just guys that seem to be no, this is a moment where everyone's paying attention, and he was a guy that always delivers. But more than that, because I was thinking about when I saw this on the rundown, he's compelling for another reason. And I think it's that he isn't anything except for what he is, which is a phenomenal baseball player, which means we get just enough of him that there's enough mystery around him. Does that make sense? He's an incredible baseball player, but not like LeBron is an incredible basketball player, but I know entirely too much about him and he's talking to me way too much. Like there's no mystery around him. I'm just, here's another LeBron commercial and here's LeBron on this show and now he's doing half of cable is like LeBron James produced television shows.
Here's LeBron at home with his family on Tuesday. I wonder what they're going to eat for dinner.
Social media, like it's just nonstop fed to you. Here's like LeBron, like Shohei, I get just enough. I get just enough, and it's a rarity, and I think it's a rarity because of where he comes from and where he plays and all these different things. In fact, it'll probably change here in a year. Like, I might get too much Shohei Ohtani next year or a year after, depending on where he lands. But right now, I get the perfect amount for a guy that is so compelling that I get exactly what I need and nothing else, and it's like he's perfect.
Exotic.
He's exotic. I mean,
element to it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's the perfect level of compelling that I'm not. It's not. It's like a perfectly seasoned meal.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it maybe helps that he's out on the coast, so maybe you don't see him as much depending on where he's at. We were talking before the show, UCL injury for him, so he's done pitching this year. What does that mean for him going forward? Because he's a free agent at the end of the year, still probably going to get $500 million in free agency, even if he can only just hit. But we're talking with Kale, and you go, all right, let's go through the steps. Let's say he signs with somebody new, or even if it's maybe the Angels, he comes back. He plays all of 2025. He's got a new deal. Got to play that out. Or rather, next year's 2024. 2024, then that offseason gets the Tommy John, comes back halfway through 2025, and then in 2026, he's able to pitch again. That's 3 years from now that we see him pitch. Now, if he goes to the Angels right now and says, what's your best offer? And he signs a deal today, and their season's over, he could have Tommy John now, and maybe this time next year, he's able to throw the ninth inning for the Angels and he's closing out important games as they try to go to the postseason. That could possibly happen.
Are they going to have the cash to throw that type of money at him, though, after already paying Mike Trout that much?
And Anthony Rendon, who's just kind of on the bench. Yeah. I think the Angels want to, be like what the Mets are, not to that extent, because Steve Cohen is a little wild with his money. But hey, New York, Yankees, and Mets. Like they're also there. I think LA, the Angels want it to be Dodgers and Angels. And so I think they're going to be able to pony up.
Fool's errand to me. Like this stuff happens with Clippers, Lakers too.
Yeah.
So you can't do that. It's impossible.
Sure.
What if another football town came to Denver? It's like, oh man, we're going to split the market on Broncos. No, you're not. I just think that's how those things work, man. You're not splitting the market on the Yankees or the Dodgers.
I know you had a really hot take that you wanted to look directly into the camera. Here's why Shohei Ohtani is going to sign with the Colorado Rockies this year and go.
You want to hit some real bombs? You want to hit some dongs? You want to set some records? I got a place for records, baby. The Colorado Rockies. The stadium, he's hitting them over the upper deck. Are you kidding me? We'll have to put a net on the party deck because too many home runs are coming up that way. I'm telling you, Shohei.
Wow. Okay.
Hard sell, baby.
What a pitch.
That's something right there. Whoa.
I think I talked him into it.
I got goosebumps.
We're not worried about his pitching. Come on, man. We don't worry about pitching over here.
No,
we're not concerned with Tommy John. We just want you hitting dongs.
He's got two arms also. Let's go lefty, bro. Like, come on.
Hey.
You're selling VIP seats to his batting practice too?
Are you kidding me?
That's going to pay for it? I mean, we're still at 0.0% chance, but now you've gotten me a little bit more hyped up because I can't really go through those steps. And
Ohtani needs to call up Jokic. He needs to call up Nikola Jokic, the best basketball player living right now. He needs to call him up and just be like, hey, man, how is it out there? Because out here in LA, there's some things I like, some things I don't like. Jokic will say, you know what? You got to come out here and play some baseball and live a normal life. I'll bet Ohtani's like, that sounds cool. Sounds really cool.
Rockies haven't had a Japanese-born player since 2007.
Wow.
It's a long time.
That is a long time.
Yeah. I don't know.
We do have a direct flight to Japan. You know this? United flight straight to Japan. I mean,
Denver to Japan.
Denver to Japan.
Too,
you know,
right?
you take the 787, the United 787. Boom, perfect.
And it goes to Tokyo?
Narita, Tokyo Narita.
Okay.
I think that's what it is, right?
Naruto? You're thinking of manga.
Which one am I? What is the flight that's outside of Tokyo? Because there's two in Tokyo. The international one, those like right on the outside, like DA.
Osaka?
No, that's a different place. What is
Just
Tokyo's
name
airport?
Japanese cities. O'Hare. That was it. No, it's Heathrow. No, I don't know actually.
You didn't know?
I don't know too many international airports. I know
Narita.
Heathrow.
Narita? What did I say, Narito?
I think
All
you
right.
said, yeah.
That was
There you
close,
go.
though.
Hey, man, not bad.
You said it with conviction.
Narita, you're right. Narita. Yep, that's what it
I
is.
do like that. Do you think baseball's a petty sport? Like, do you like read stories and you're like, all right, the Baltimore Orioles, kind of suspended their announcer who was just reading statistics about what had happened?
That has nothing to do with baseball. This happens in all sports
Okay.
where you have some kind of owner who doesn't get it.
Mm,
That's what it is.
right.
So baseball's petty sport is like beaming batters because they like flipped a bat or something. To me, that's where it's really stupid. I mean, anything like I'm far from being like anti-traditional, but I do think that when traditions are held too tightly, that they become like really stupid. And baseball probably leads all sports in those. But I don't think that specific story was so dumb because that was just like an owner not getting his own. They don't get what it is.
Yeah.
But that happens this actually just happened in NBA. Baseball fans won't even know about this one. The Knicks had filed a complaint actually through court. They didn't even go to the NBA. They filed a legal dispute with an ex-scout who brought over some of the plays from the Knicks to the Raptors. Now, this sounds like an egregious thing. I have the Nuggets' playbook. It's open to anybody that wants to like put the work in to do this. And scouts, that's what they do for a living. They make playbooks. So this guy did this and not go to the NBA and say, hey, he used our laptop to do this, which nobody would care anyway. And the NBA would probably say whatever. They made a legal dispute out of it. So the Knicks, an owner who's
James
insane.
Dolan wouldn't do that. I don't know.
Dolan,
Are you sure?
James
you get your
Dolan,
facts right? He
petty.
wouldn't.
But yeah, that's that.
The great singer, James Dolan.
Yeah, well, more of a kazoo player, to be honest.
He is. You know that he has he owns venues in
Of course.
California.
The Sphere is
He's open for the Eagles. His band has opened for the
Really?
Eagles.
No
yes.
way.
Swear
No
to God.
way.
It's like, yeah, you
But
can
you know
play
what?
at my venue, but my band has to
I'm
open
opening,
legitimately. This
Nobody-
guy, James Dolan. And also, too, there was a story this offseason where he was having facial recognition because people that were being
Tip of the
critical of him.
iceberg.
Like, actually, I wonder if that was that lawsuit, but there was some kind of lawsuit.
No, that's
going
what it
on.
was. That's what it
And
was.
They wanted to make sure that those lawyers and those people that were working on the case couldn't get in, so they had facial scans outside of MSG.
But it's not just that. It's also fans. Like, oh, a reporter said something bad, not allowed into the arena. And how do they track you? Because they actually literally have robots scanning you as you come in. And then a security guy is like, oh, that's the guy. Yeah, he said something on Twitter about how the Knicks suck. Out of here. Insanity.
Wow.
Absolute insanity.
Are you at the point now that when you go to Ball Arena, like you don't have to go through all the rigmarole? They kind of just know. You just flash a little thing, and they're like, "Oh, there's Adam. Hey, what's up?" You go through.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Nobody really goes. Yeah,
If you act like you belong there,
that most
you can
people.
also
That's
get
the
in, too.
secret. Yeah.
That is the secret. Have you gone? We'll wrap up here in just a sec, but I need to know. Have you gone to Coors Field yet this year?
No, I have not. I have not made it out
Why
to
not?
Coors. Honestly, I don't care. I just like I gotta have. For me, like Coors is like for most people, it's a place to go, like to bring your family or this or that. You know, the Nuggets played until the end of June. Their season didn't end until July, so the earliest I could have started going was really like mid-July.
Yeah.
And then it just hasn't come up. So I will say I'm sad I haven't gone this year. I'd like to take the kids, do that whole thing, but at the end of the day, I'm not compelled to.
And they're back in school too. So
Now they're back in school, so it's over.
There's that. Yeah. No, it Coors Field can very much be like Casa Bonita,
Yeah.
You're like, oh, it's this thing to do. And you're like, no, there's important games going on there as well. But if you just want to go to hang out, you can do that. And hey, you should actually use Game Time tickets if you want to go.
I should
check that
definitely
out.
do
It's a little
It's
site.
like $1 on the Game Time app. It's really great.
Only because they can't make it 98 cents. That's
I will say I'm into Tovar Nolan-Jones. Like I had zero eyes on the Rockies. Now I have like one. I have my peripherals.
okay.
My peripherals of my right eye right now is on the Rockies. So
All right.
I'm excited.
I think they'll take that at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're trending upward, which is hard to say in a season where they could lose more than ever before.
Oh, I can't wait.
That's where they're on pace.
I'll tell
for.
you that. That's what it is. If they like, you get into that close to that 100. 99 losses. They got a home game. I want to be there for that one.
They are home on the final game of the final day of the regular season.
Honestly, DNVR event. We got to get signs. We got to go, baby. We're going for 100. Hundo, baby. Keep it at 100.
Impromptu watch party, huh?
Let's go, baby.
Wow. Okay.
This is how you make change. I'm telling you, is how you like ownership groups have to be shamed, and they have to.
Extremes need to happen.
I'm telling you, like we're just talking about James Dolan. Why does he do facial recognition? He has enough money to not care about the opinions and thoughts of the average person, you or I.
Mm-hmm.
But when a whole chorus of boos starts raining down on you in your own stadium, when your own players no longer want to be associated with you because they hate being like the crowd's rooting against us for game, for the 100th loss. That's when they're like, all right, we can't keep doing this. The people are unhappy. We have to like feign interest in our own success here. And to me, that's what it would be. So for me, I fully encourage it. Rockies at home have a chance to hit 100 losses. To me, if I'm in the stand, I'm standing the whole game. I'm standing.
Rooting against them.
Oh, well, I'm rooting in my heart. I'm rooting for the Rockies. And I just know the only way to really get the Rockies to go where we need is for them to be faced with their own inadequacies.
Yes, James Dolan can treat Michael Rappaport a certain way, but you can't treat Knicks fans that way.
Right.
Dick Mumford.
Not all Knicks fans, right.
Can't be treating Rockies fans like this. Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Go ahead and plug away. I know there's a Friday Night Live coming up, and there's a
we're doing
book
Nuggets.
signing.
Yeah, tomorrow book signing, Nuggets champions. We're doing a 6 o'clock to 7 book signing, 7 o'clock live show for the Nuggets. It's interactive, so if you want to come be on the Nugget show, we'll have a mic for you.
Yeah, get yourself signed up. Become a diehard because you'll get 15% off your food and drink. You're probably gonna want to buy a shirt. If you want to buy the book, I mean, you're getting 20% off all your gear at DNVRlocker.com. So it makes all the sense in the world. Check us out over on Twitter at DNVR_Rockies. At Patrick D. Lyons is where I can be found. Adam, you did it. You made it. This was good. Right?
Rockies talk, baby.
This was momentous, but unfortunately, you know what they say about...
I think this was my first time on the Rocky show, by the way.
I think so, too.
I don't think I've ever been on the Rocky show in 4 years.
Yes.
So this was the first time.
You've earned it. You've been putting in your time.
This might be the line right here, Kale, of when it all turned around.
I'll mark it down.
Mark it down.
Put it on my calendar.
Mark the tape. Mark the tape. Momentous, but unfortunately, as we say about momentum in the baseball podcast world, it's only as good as your next show. And tomorrow is going to be a great one. Tune in for the Suze show tomorrow. DNVR Rockies, DNVR Sports, right here live on YouTube.